All right. I don't know if this is working. There we go. All right, cool. Let me start letting some people in. Let's see here. Cool. All right, I think we're going live here. How's everybody doing?
Good, man.
Very well.
Excellent. All right. Seems like we have a lot of the usual suspects here. How's it going, Neil?
Good, Pat. How are you doing?
Good. It's been a long week, man. I'm gonna share a little announcement. I think we talked about it a week or so ago, but we're ready to go on our plans, and it's been challenging getting everything set up. Hold on one second.
That's Nicholas.
Nicholas? Okay, cool. How's everybody else doing? What's up, Paul Myers?
Hey, Pat. How you doing?
Good,
Patrick,
man.
guys, how are you?
Good, man. I saw you riding around on the jet skis, huh?
Yeah, I was out on Friday, maybe Friday. It was nice. Then the weekend turned to shit.
Yeah.
So it's supposed to be nice this weekend, so we'll probably get out again.
Excellent.
I clocked it across though, going to the islands. The islands is about 7 miles away. And I think it was like flat glass. So it was like 112 kilometers. So that's what, 68?
72
miles? 72. Yeah. It's about as fast as I want to go on water.
Yeah.
So it was like 112 kilometers.
Might need a helmet.
Yeah.
I almost killed myself on one of those jet skis, man. I was going around, and there was a black rope going from a houseboat to a tree, and the water was like black, and I couldn't see it. I saw it at the last second, and it like, I leaned back and it hit me in the head.
Wow.
I was going pretty fast, and it was pretty scary, but yeah. So I'm going to share something with you guys before we get started here, and we're going to get into our wins. Today, our spotlight is going to be Cody. You can see that it's a little bit different for me here. I'm not in my office. So that is because we've actually spent the last week moving out of our house. We're putting our things in storage, and we bought an RV.
I feel your pain.
We've got a
Kyle Campbell.
Kyle Campbell. I'm just going to mute everyone. Hold on, if I can figure out how.
There's a few people unmuted.
What's that?
There's a few people unmuted, so you might as well just do a blanket mute.
See if we can figure out that co-host thing here.
Yeah.
The co-host, there you go. Okay, you should be good now.
There we go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as I was saying, we've put all of our stuff in storage. We're actually leaving tonight. So we bought an RV, and we're getting ready to start traveling around the country in our RV. So everything's going to be remote from us for at least the summer. You know, we've been in Austin, Texas, and Austin is a very hot and humid place in the summer. So, you know, with the pandemic, and we had originally planned to go to Cyprus for the summer, but they've closed the borders there. So we love to travel. We've kind of been locked up for a little while. So we bought this RV. I spent the last couple of weeks having it modified to kind of turn it into our mobile command center. So we plan on pretty much traveling all over the place. So coming to a city near you, hopefully, you know, I'd love to meet up with you guys as we travel around, for those that are interested in it, just to kind of like put some 3D faces with virtual faces that I've seen here for months and months. So our first stop is Ohio, where I'm from. And then from there, we'll be going to New York City for a little while. Never really spent any time there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the RV in storage and get an Airbnb for a little while. And then maybe back to Ohio for the 4th of July, and then up to Maine and Vermont and like Cape Cod and those areas. From there, I think we'll go down the East Coast. So it's kind of all fluid right now, but just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. This is something we've been planning to do for years and years, and we just decided to finally pull the trigger. Stop being like, you know, someday, right? Because as most of you may realize, someday may never come. So it's, you know, we got to knock those bucket list items off when you have the opportunities for them. And you know, with our business, with the agency we have, there's really nothing stopping us from doing this. So So yeah, I don't know, maybe that resonates with some of you guys, can serve as inspiration, or maybe, this sounds terrible. I don't know. But for those of you guys that would like to be able to kind of live wherever, and you're just getting into or working your way through this business model, it's something that this business model has made possible for us, so pretty excited to get on the road. It's been a pretty rough week with moving, and apparently as much fun as moving is, it can be even more fun if it rains the whole week, right? So that we did that. And then it's also fun if you get dehydrated and because you don't take care of yourself. So been a pretty rough week. So I'm feeling kind of slow and out of it today. So, but I'm going to do my best on the call today. So let's go into wins. Do we have some wins to share, or any? I don't know if anyone wants to turn that into a conversation, what we're doing. If not, let's do some wins. Who's got some wins? Who's done some cool stuff in the last 7 days?
I got another win this week.
Talk about, baby. What happened?
Cody here. Sorry, my name still doesn't come up, but just another prospect from Craigslist, someone who's starting a business in a couple months, and they had a allotted business plan and budget for marketing, etc. And I got them, or not got them for, they had 10,000 allotted for budget, and they paid quarterly. And I have in 3 months I have to review with them, and it was they've been really happy so far. I already produced for them a logo and a business card and a website in the first couple. Well, I actually had a website basically already made for them for that niche, but in the first week I produced him a logo and a business card that he approved for me to print, and so he's like super happy. And that's the first time someone's been that easy. It was like
That's
basically
cool,
like he was super happy to pay, and he wasn't like I didn't have to talk him into it. He was like, wait, he had a budget for a marketer and was happy to find me. But
Excellent. Very
Been
cool,
one.
man. That's exciting. So you're posting on Craigslist, or you're looking for people on Craigslist? How do you locate these prospects?
I actually just like feel out all of the ads in general. Everybody who is like sales jobs, or people who are posting in gigs that have businesses that they're just starting, or you actually can like find them pretty randomly, and they're not always what you think. Like someone had just some, a pretty obvious, like, hey, I just starting this business. I'm on Craigslist in the services section. Okay. So I just wrote him and just, gave him just the normal spiel or whatever. And that person who had been in business for a week or just about to start, and between gigs and services and jobs, and then between searching for all of the keywords associated with our profession, and then in all of those, like the Kijiji and Craigslist and whatever, I've been able to find some successes in that anyways.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I mean, I think just reaching out to people and giving yourself the opportunity. Obviously, not all of them are going to go through, but it's a numbers game, right? So it's getting your name in the hat, you've got a chance, and then sometimes that chance is going to land on you, right? So excellent, man. Really cool. So Cody is going to be our spotlight tonight, so we're going to circle back to you in a little bit. Any other wins for anyone else? Neil, you got a win? You're muted. Asked to unmute.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
Couple of new, really good, I think are going to be mailbox. There are 4 other people in JK that I got them for the people in JK that, or one was.
You're doing some sales, right? For some.
Yeah, for other members of JK, but we've partnered up on the sites. And one, I mean, I was ready to throw in the towel on mobile welding, Baltimore, right? It was just, I was getting a zillion calls, and I take the calls at the beginning so I can call the people with the calls, right? I cold call. I just get on the list, I call, I get yelled at. It is what it is, right? But I always find somebody. And I was at the last of the mobile welders, And I said, you know what? I'm going to go up the tree, and I went to bigger companies to see if they do it as another income for the company, you know? So I'm talking big companies too.
Right.
And I was able to, I had a woman, very professional, said, you know, that sounds like something we would be interested in, and I'm going to put you through with sales. And so that went through, but then 2 other people called me back that I had left messages for. And the one guy was so enthusiastic, and I kind of ran it around in my head. The next day, though, I went with the guy that was enthusiastic. And it turns out he's got all kinds of stuff going on because he's 100% African-American owned business, and he's merging with another one of those businesses in Tampa, opening up another company, and they have 7 other offices throughout the Southeast. And he wants me to do it all for all of them, you know, and now it's gone from mobile welding to everything I've sent him. He's called me. He's like, I got it. They're coming to my shop, and they're looking at drawings, and they're talking big, like, fences for schools and all kinds. You know, it went from something I thought could have been $200 a month deal to something that could be quite lucrative.
Man, yeah, that
And
sounds
I've
good.
got backups too. It's funny, the takeaway, because I did the same thing for another JK member. These aren't ones I'd go into, but it was a tree service in San Diego, and that was kind of tough. But then I finally found another person, and then someone was calling me back while I was talking with him. The person that called me back was like she wanted to be her company to be our people, right? She was like selling herself to me. It was just weird, the turnaround, you know? I was doing the takeaway. I've already got someone that I spoke with, and now I was like, wow, I wish I had went with her, you know? But I'd already told this guy, but hey, I sent him a lead. He didn't contact me back. Didn't say he got it. And so I'm going to call her tomorrow because she knows him. He said they're a good company. And so, I don't know, it's weird, the turn of events. I got screamed at by a couple of people in San Diego tree service before that. And then I had 2 other people call me back again. So I have backups.
Yeah,
If someone goes south.
it's crazy how things can change, right? So quickly when we think this is not going to work. And this is what I mean when I've said this almost every week. You just have to get lucky once with a lot of these things, right? You just have to find the right person, and everything can click. And if we go back, you know, like a month or 2 ago, I gave you guys that analogy of the steps where there's this long staircase ahead of us, and we don't know how long it takes to get to the top. But this is going to be true for so many different things, like going through a bad client, not being able to find a client. That's a step. And if you realize, even when it doesn't feel like you're being successful, that's a step on the way to success, right? It's you're getting through the bad stuff. And if you just stay with it, there's only one result in my mind too, like persistent focus towards a goal. There's only one result, and that's success. As long as you don't give up, it's going to work. There's somebody that's going to want the mobile welding stuff, right? And you just have to, there's so many opportunities out there. And, you know, the hard part is locating them, right? And there's way more than we'll ever know, right? It's just a question of staying after it until you find the right person. And pretty much every successful entrepreneur in history, if you study them and you study their stories, they've gone through the same process, right? Where they've tried and they've tried and they've tried. What is it? Thomas Edison, it was like the 1200th light bulb or something was the one that worked. It's just everybody has gone through this stuff. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome, Neil. You guys, when the reason I really want to push that is because I know that some of you guys are discouraged on here, and some of you guys are struggling with these different pieces, and that's like it can just flip in a second, right? Everything can just change, right? You find the right person, you get connected, or you never know what the connection is going to lead to. Okay, cool, awesome, Neil. Congrats on that. That sounds like what could be potentially a huge win, right? Long term.
And just so you know, for your trip, you know, I'll touch base with you before you head up there, because I got some places where you might be able to put your RV, like up in the mountains in New Hampshire.
Okay.
People have
You're going to come meet us?
I don't know. I might. My sister has a good cabin up there, and then she's also got a place down in Cape Cod. So.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking at one time I'm going to stay kind of on the Canadian border and see if I can get Paul Myers to drive his jet ski over the river and come join us.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, definitely connect with me on that, Neil. I'll give you some updates as we head that way. So,
And you're
very
gonna have
cool.
you're gonna have your sticks with you, right?
My golf clubs?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hopefully, I'm really hoping that my wife gets to bring everything that she wants to, because those golf clubs are definitely going. All right. So,
Got a couple quick wins, Patrick, in the Facebook
Yeah.
group. I just want to acknowledge these people who are scaling agency style. So Eugene is hiring VAs and Andrew has hired some writers. So those are really good wins as far as like getting out there and delegating. That's a huge ceiling of complexity to break through when you're starting to delegate. And I know that's how Patrick has scaled his agency. So good wins out there, guys.
that's awesome. That's Eugene, who he did the spotlight 3 or 4 weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
And that was one of the things that we were talking about on that spotlight session, is how he can hire the VAs and how that can help him scale, right? So hopefully, well, maybe that was useful for him in getting there. And that's amazing, Eugene. Awesome to hear. We got Jarrett Miller on here. I know Jarrett has a win every 7 minutes or so. Anything big going on with you lately, Jarrett? You're muted. Hold on. There we go.
There we go. No,
What's up,
man,
brother? How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm rocking and rolling. I got a couple new clients last month. I think I've added about $1,000 a month with previous clients to this month coming up in June. So I'll hit about 15K this month. That's not all with lead gen. That's just an arbitrage business, lead gen, a couple other things, but it's the biggest month I've had. So
Awesome, man. Congrats. What's working for you?
just the same old thing, man. Just like continually prospecting. I have about $4,000 worth of lead gens right now that are ready to sell. So honestly, I probably have to put my head down and just get those things sold. I've been having trouble focusing on that a little bit, I guess, sometimes. Just because I probably need to hire somebody else as far as VAs goes and things like that. Just to I have 3 VAs right now, but I'll probably have to add another one because I find myself like that's money on the table, and I know I have to go out there and go get it, right? And
I've got the same situation, and I'm big on trying to like hack my brain and create like these scenarios where it's going to push me harder. And I started thinking about it, and I mentioned this before, but every month that goes by where we have money that's not collected from a lead gen, we're never getting that money back, right? That's money that's like essentially you're taking a suitcase with $4,000 and dumping it on a fire, and it's just like it's going to burn hot for about 20 seconds, but it's gone forever, right? So I've got a lot of that going on too. I've got Jeff, and that's kind of like where Jeff spends a lot of his time. Is we have so many different sites that are not sold. Like I think it's probably 30 or 40 grand a month for us.
It's a lot. And that's why I kind of posted in that chat or the group yesterday or this morning, I can forget, but it's that one guy that I have who's dipping out on leads. It's like, it's hard to prioritize. If that were my only site or one of 5, it'd be a completely different approach. But when you have these things sort of like bubbling up to the top constantly, and it's like all of a sudden this thing's popping off and you go in a different area, different niche and everything. And then, I mean, it's a lot, but it's just constantly trying to prioritize and get as many of these things monetized at whatever level you can. And then managing what we already have, it's a battle. It's not passive income on an agency scale by any stretch of imagination. But I get motivated when Patrick starts talking about all that money falling down the drain. It's like, all right, now I'm gonna pound it extra hard tomorrow. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and I think it's key to like just whatever you need to do when you guys find yourself struggling with this, like hack your brain in a way that twists the knife so that if there's a direction that you need to be going in, and you can't find a way to move in that direction, like play a little strategy game in your head. Like, you know, it's you versus yourself here. And what do you need to do? What do you know is going to really get you motivated? And how do you set that up? Create analogies, right? Like $4,000, that could be like, maybe you've built 4 houses and they're sitting there empty, right? And you can picture the house empty, right? Like my place right now, it's completely empty. If this were my house and it was not rented out, I would be pretty pissed off, right? And then picture like you're going out to the mailbox and you're opening that mailbox and there's the mortgage for this house that you're not paying, right? It's easy for us now because our costs with our lead gens are so negligible. It's easy to just let them sit on the back burner and not collect money from it because there's no mortgage associated with it. But you know, that that lost income is just the same as paying a bill, right? It's like, so I encourage you guys to think about things in another way where it's going to force you to do the things that you don't want to do that you know you should do. Okay, Jarrett, what else you got, man? Any other wins? Anything cool?
So I've got a couple big commission deals that I'm hoping that are going through. That it's gonna, be in the, like, I guess it would be 5 figures if those things go through. I mean, it'll probably be a few months before we know anything, but I mean, we're talking like 60, 70 grand worth of commissions on some of these sites. So yeah, I just been same thing, just head down and constantly and I'm getting to the point now where a lot of people are reaching out to me now. So I have a couple clients that are getting referrals. So that kind of bogs me down a little bit because I'm in more meetings where people are like, hey, I need help with leads, or hey, can you do this? Or hey, can you run Google ads? And so I'm trying to really stay hyper-focused. I don't have any SEO clients right now. So I'm trying to stay away from that.
Yeah.
It's 100% on lead gen, especially since people are reaching out to me. So
yeah, Jarrett, you'll find that when they come in as referrals, you get to set the tone a lot more, right? It's a much warmer lead. So if they're coming in as a referral for SEO or for ads, you can just flat out tell them, hey, that's not what we do. Like, I would love to work with you, but that's not how our business model works. This is how it works. And then, as long as you have good language that supports it, such as, look, you're really good. I know that you work with contractors a lot. So like, you're really good at like doing remodeling, and I'm really good at this tech stuff. So what we do is we try to create a partnership where we're going to handle all the tech stuff for you so you can focus on the remodeling. And what we found in the past is when we try to take over someone else's site and stuff like this, it's just like we end up having to rebuild it and things weren't done perfectly. And we want to take every edge that we can because this is going to have long-term implications. And as we grow, this stuff is going to be 100%, for you, right? 100% exclusive for you. So like, this is a partnership and this is long-term. So you can focus on what you're good at and we'll focus on this. And as long as you're good to us, we'll be good to you. So using language like that, I found that I can usually move these people from SEO to this. And especially when they come in as a referral, because when they come in as a referral, someone that they like, trust, possibly love, has said good things about you to them. And it's just like, as long as you don't insult them, like you're probably going to close them. Right.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just a quick perspective on Jarrett. I've seen him kind of like rise through this whole getting started, getting off the runway type of a process. And he just seemed to come out of nowhere. I see him in a lot of contracting groups that I'm a member of and whatnot, and just putting himself out there in a big way constantly for the last, Jared, like 4, 6, 8 months, however long it's been. It hasn't been really that long, but now he's in a position where he's getting all these referrals. And now, like Patrick's saying, he can kind of twist the business model and start declining or spinning people into the type of deals that he wants instead of the type of deals that he had to take before, maybe SEO or whatnot. So I think Jarrett deserves a big pat on the back, a round of applause or whatever, because I've really seen him go full bore on getting his name out there, building a reputation for himself, doing the deal, like being motivated and really following through on what he's saying. And I think he really deserves some accolades for that. So congratulations, Jared.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that, man.
You bet.
Yeah. Jared, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember we did the lead generated contest that was like from November 11th to December 11th. And we had a conversation after that where it had kind of woke you up as to like, I don't, was that the time or was it before that? Because I know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been in JK or, lead generated for, I guess it would be going on June is 18 months. So, and then when your software came out, it just kind of changed the way I prospected a little bit, more screencasts, more focused on bringing that value and showing people kind of where they're at instead of just doing that normal, hey, this is, how many links you have, this is your citations. It kind of like changed the way I did that whole process to where, just really focused on like, hey, this is where your business is, and this is where we can bring your business, right? And so to be able to show a contractor, like I got a meeting with a roofer some point this week where he's #1 in the map for his keyword roofer, right? And so we went through the screencast, but every other keyword he was non-existent. So he does a lot of insurance jobs, he does a lot of roof repair, and he's a pretty decent company, but he only shows up for the keyword roofer. And so just by showing him that heat map and showing him 5 different, so I changed the way the approach, right? It helps him become more of an expert in the field to sit there, because a lot of these business owners don't even understand what they're missing or the business that they're not bringing in that he could possibly, imagine, and that's how I spin that. And I say, okay, you're busy now with this one keyword that you're dominating the market. Imagine if we come in and now we're dominating for 10 of the strongest keywords in your field that you dominate for roof repair. You get every single lead that comes in for commercial roofing. You get every single lead that comes in for roof installation. And that's the stuff that I do for all my clients, right?
Right.
And so not discounting what he's done, because hey, you've really built this up really well, but this is where we're lacking across the board, right? And so that contest kind of helped me just say, hey, you know what, you just put a lot of lines out, fish with a lot of lines, right? And fish where the fish are, and just keep on putting lines out in the water instead of
that's what I was after right there. Is I think that contest helped you realize that just like by the more actions you take, the more results you get. And they may not all be the right actions, but I know that it was you and Kyle and I think maybe Adam McChesney, you guys were kind of coming down to the wire. And I've kind of watched all 3 of your guys' businesses over the last 6 months since that contest. And it seems like every one of them has been like a strong upward trend.
Yeah, Adam McChesney's killing it right now.
I think he's on this call.
He's building a huge agency right now, though. I think he does a lot of SEO and Google ads and things like that. But he's rocking and rolling.
Hopefully he leaves some leads for us.
Oh yeah, he's killing it.
All right, cool, man. Well, always a pleasure, Jared. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It's good to see you.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Are you in Louisiana?
I am. Well, I'm in Louisiana. Yeah, I'm in New Orleans. Yep.
New Orleans. Okay.
Yep.
That's on our list on our road trip in here, man.
Oh, well, dude, come look. Me and Kyle, not Roloffs, but Goldstein will go.
Goldstein.
Go hang out. Yeah. Kyle Goldstein.
Sounds good, brother.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so like I said, I'm going to try to keep this call to an hour today, but before we go on to Cody, I wanted to share something else with you guys. I recently finished another good book, and I think you guys should check it out. It's called How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, kind of the story of my life, by Scott Adams. So Scott Adams is the guy who developed Dilbert, the comic, but really good book. I listened to the audiobook. So it's one of those that I might go back through again on the real one, but I wanted to share a couple takeaways that really meant something to me over the last few months. I read or listened to part of this book, and then I kind of put it on the back shelf and I came back to it. And I think it was really good, really enjoyed it. Took a lot away from it. not only from like a business standpoint, but self-improvement. So one of the things that he talks about is like knowledge stacking. So knowledge stacking is every time we learn a new skill, our chances of success doubles, right? So that doesn't mean that if you like learn to be a golfer and then you also learn how to fix a kitchen sink, the skill should be relatable, right? So for instance, if we learn like lead gen and we also learn maybe like Facebook ads, or we learn like how to be a public speaker where we can go and we can present in front of people and talk about this stuff. So it's not exponential, but it's, you know, it ain't, because it's like, it's only doubling. But so like, let's say I learn lead gen and then I learn like Facebook marketing. So I have 2, and then I learn like public speaking. So now I have 4, and then I learned another one. So like, I really believe in this, you know, for me, like, I learned to be a software engineer, and then I learned to do lead gen, and you kind of lead generated as the result of that, which like either one of those on their own would like, I would clearly not have the, we wouldn't have this product, right? Like it took the knowledge of both of those, right? And understanding the design, like I had to understand user interface and graphic design. So then that allowed us to build a product that was going to be well received, right? So just stacking up these things, and you don't need to be an expert in these, right? So that's an important distinction. Just being like proficient in some of these different things and being able to kind of combine them and pull from a lot of different areas at the same time is really important. So it's a lot of free classes all over the internet that can get you like a basic proficiency on things really quickly. So the second big takeaway I took from this book is there's 2 types of people in the world. So there are the people that like to simplify things, and there are the people that like to optimize things. I think it's important to, and you know, everybody's going to have like characteristics of one category or the other, but be more dominant in one. So for me, I'm definitely an optimizer. You know, that means that like, it could mean that, hey, I need to go to the bank, but the grocery store is like on the way there, and like, I'll stop and do this and this. And it's just like, you need to be paying attention to that stuff within your business and within your life, because there's pros and cons to both. There's not like one is better than the other. It's just, this is how most people fall into it. So a lot of things are going to, you're going to have to be, if you can be cognizant of this and you can realize that you're like optimizing in a situation that you should be simplifying, then it's going to make your life a lot easier. So for instance, we were moving this last week. An example of this is like, well, we've got like burgers in the freezer that we wanted to cook. So we don't want to sell the grill because, we're like, we know we're going to sell the grill, but we're like, let's wait until the last minute, which is like, creates so much more stress and anxiety and stuff. So I catch myself doing this all the time in my business, right? So I encourage you guys, whichever side you fall on, to consider the other side and apply it. Apply it in ways that make sense. There's no blanket rule that like, hey, one's going to be better than the other. But if you can simplify the processes in your business, simplify the things for your VA at the cost of optimization, and you can get like 95% of the results with 5% of the effort or 20% of the effort, whatever, it's probably worth it, right? So that will allow you to scale more. Like I said, I encourage you guys to check this book out. I took a lot away from it. The audiobook was really good. Whoever the reader is, I don't know if it's the author or I don't think it's the author, but the guy just has a lot of like common sense stuff that I feel like high schools should be teaching us. So if that appeals to you, if that resonates with you, check out that book. All right, cool. So let's move on to our spotlights. Mr. Cody, 16047. You ready, brother? I'm going to ask you to unmute. There you go. Oops.
Boom.
Impressive.
Got it.
Cool. How you doing, man?
Doing well. Doing well.
I think
How are you?
you're a Canuck, right?
That's correct.
Where
Yeah.
in Canada are you?
Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver.
BC.
Most expensive city in North America, right?
Oh, tell me about it. It's killing me.
That's a lot. It takes a lot of lead gens to live there.
A lot of everything.
Cool. So how long you shared the win, and I know that you had another big win about 5 weeks ago, maybe.
Yes.
How long have you been in this business?
3 months.
3
I'm
months.
just coming 3 and a bit. I'm just coming on to my 4th month.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
And give us kind of a 90-second overview where you are.
Oh, all over the place, sort of. I have 25 sites built, 20 published, 5 ranked. Like one of them even has like spot 1, 2, and 4, and a bunch of them coming up. 5 clients totaling around 7,000 if I can maintain them. One, I almost lost, that big national client, that big win. I almost lost that, yet to be determined. They surprise Zoomed me with a table board full of directors that asked me questions about my everything to do with it. And they clearly could tell I was quite new. But 2 specialist sites, like, specializing in helping specific niches. And then a couple like large lists that I gathered, and one I paid for one for those specialist sites to start a big campaign or whatever. But I'm kind of lost in the middle of everything because as being so new, I just started doing everything, and now I kind of just straight hit a brick wall, like, honestly.
Yeah. Well, honestly, what you told me here, it sounds like you are like, it would be hard to be much further ahead after 3 months than you are. I think you would be in the top, probably 5 or 10% for people starting out to have 5 ranked sites with 20 built. I don't know how many people in the first 90 days have 20 sites built and 5 of them ranking, right? And another 5 that are about to be published with multiple wins. So even though it feels like you're hitting a brick wall, it's important, I think, to take a moment and realize, like, hey, you didn't know how to do this 90 days ago, and now you've got like all kinds of traction going here, right?
90 days ago, I was like at email and like streaming. Like, no jokes.
So when you say you hit a brick wall, what's going on? Talk to me.
Well, just between learning all of these things, because I started, needing money, of course. So I started prospecting all the time. Then I got a bunch of clients or a bunch of conversations happening. So now I'm having to actually do work, of course, to keep those people happy, and they're wanting to review and talk to me. And then with all of my sites, and now I'm learning how to do some of the Facebook ads for the groups that I'm in, and some client help. And that in itself has taken me a bunch of days to start learning, and every one of these facets is each one of them you could probably learn for months or whatever. And
yeah, I've got some like very clear advice that I feel really strongly about here.
Oh gosh.
No, you're good, man. I did the same thing. And I'll tell you, like, after 2 years, I think I was at $4,000 a month because I was doing what you're doing now, right? And I had built a bunch of sites. Like a lot of what I try to teach on these calls each week come from the mistakes that I made. So over the first 2 years, I had built all kinds of different sites, but I only had part of them ranked. So that's why I have that rule where I want like 60% of the first 25 before we build more, and kind of maintain that ratio. Otherwise, like, eventually it will come back, and that's part of what happened. But I decided I was going to narrow my focus. I went to a marketing event, and I was talking to the people and they had like an expert panel, right, of the people that were the most successful. And I was kind of looking at these people and trying to figure out, what do these people have that I don't? That is, like, there were some that were younger and older and like, taller and shorter and balder and skinnier and all, like, it's just all over the board. Some were good with people, some weren't as good with people. And what I realized is that they had the most sites. And I had been like messing around with like Facebook ads and Google ads and like all these other strategies. And when I narrowed my focus and I said, this is my lane, like, this is where I'm going to focus, like, then my income just like shot up, right? And I think this kind of goes against what I just said, like, where like the knowledge stacking, where it's like your chances of doubling. But you have to have, like, if this is your business, lead generation is your business. You have to know this skill set well. Like once you have this kind of ironed out, then you can start tacking on these things. But to do that from the beginning, you're going to just kind of like move very slowly in all these different categories, right? You're like this, this, and this, none of them are going to move fast. So you've got 20 sites with 5 of them ranking, which I think is excellent. If my advice is let's get some more of those ranking. And 3 months, like it's hard to rank a site in 3 months. I know that like that's what some of us are sold when we like buy into these marketing programs. What I've learned is it takes like 6 months or more. Like if we choose a really good niche, and there's tons of those out there, then I think 3 months is achievable, but I would say that longer is average. So there's no reason to be discouraged about these other 15 sites that aren't ranking yet. Because
I'm not discouraged about them. I'm just trying to figure out how to focus my time as a professional, really. Like, because I did jump in like head first or whatever. I quit my job, or I went on leave after a month, just because I've been in that profession for so long. I just did it on purpose anyways. And having faith in my sales, because I'm also in that profession. I was a sales manager and a salesperson kind of in a trade with a real high sales conversion. So I'm like, okay at that aspect. Then I lost my train of thought for some reason. And so I just jumped right in. And now, and I've put all of that money that I said that I got from that, I have just put right back into more of this courses that are coming, or that come with the JK, a lot of the extracurricular stuff, and trying to learn. And then, I suppose it is a win, but I'm incredibly nervous about it. Like today was the first day, because I got that sale from that win I just told you about, and I took that whole money basically, and I gave it for a whole month's wage for someone who I know, who is really, really good at computers, way better than me, who had done backlinking in the past and done a bunch of stuff. And today was actually his first day. Like he put in 8 hours full day of learning and as well of backlinking. And he was like, even when I was going over the stuff with them, he actually knew more than I knew. Like, honestly, like he was correcting me all the time, and I felt really foolish. But so today was his first day. So now of those 20 sites, or those 25, I have a person who's full-time, just going to do backlinks for the sites all day, every day in a rotation. And now I'm going to be able to, because I got that one sale or whatever. So my thinking of it, I know, which is foolish, is that my next one will pay for his next month, and more of the stuff that I'm going to do, and hopefully the extra sales in between will be my money, and more to put into the business, because I'm fairly comfortable, or like not comfortable, but I'm like, I can sustain a couple months of attempting to tread water or whatever.
right. I think it's really important for you to be learning like the backlinking and the skill sets that are the core parts of the lead generation business model. If this is the business you're going to run, then I think it's important for you to be learning these skills. It's good to pay someone once you have this dialed in. My concern with hiring someone that's done backlinks in the past is like they're a dime a dozen out there, and
Sure.
99 out of 100 are going to do things that are going to damage your site long term. They're going to go and get spammy links. And if you don't understand this well enough that you can police this, it could be a problem. Okay. So
today as an example, I worked with him, right? And like, cause he's like basically like a neighbor. I've known him for many, many, many years. And like the person I kind of actually know him. So, like I actually had him in a laptop next to me, and then I was going through what I do with him, and then he's following along, and then he would actually like turn it and be like, what about this? What do you think? And then I would, pull it up on my stuff and go over what I thought, and, oh, look, that led to this. And, then throughout the day, he even did that. And this whole first couple weeks, we're going to, my intention is to do that with him, because then he leaves at a certain time, and then I do my normal business, because I have all of the other tasks associated with it. I'm just was trying to scale too quickly in a manner, and that's all I knew, because like with roofing and the other trades that I've done, that's typically what I've done. Like you work really hard in this one amount and then you get some money from a job and you hire a dude and now there's two of you and you can do a job twice as fast kind of, and you finish that job and now you buy a truck or a ladder or something and now you're a sub, and that's just the only way I really know how to do it. So
you always be asking yourself why you're doing this. Okay. So like there's things that we know that like larger companies have, and we just need to make sure that they're justified for where we are at the time they have them. A lot of people running their businesses are like not managing them correctly. They're not like growing at their correct pace, right? So it's important that we don't like just do this because we know to do it. I think that your time, like there's a couple skill sets that I think are going to be important for you, and one of them is to say no. Like is like with this Facebook ads and stuff like this, like you're going to realize, whether you realize it from the result of this conversation or you realize it from like 6 months down the road, or maybe you're not going to realize it because you're going to be like really good at Facebook ads and Google ads. But I think what most people realize is that it's very tough to like be really good at this. It's a whole different skill set to be really good at Facebook and really good at Google. And it's almost like a competition, right? Where, especially for Google ads, right? There's quality scores and there's things like this. It's an auction and you're going to be competing against people who don't know what they're doing, but also people that are very good at it. And then you have lead gen, where it doesn't really cost us any money for these ads. And when you try to do like 3 or 4 of these things at once, you're going to find that you're not going to be very good at any of them. And you're competing against some people that are solely focused on these. In the end, a lot of what I've seen over the last like 5 or 6 years of doing this business model is people will start with lead gen, and then like you, they'll try these other things and they'll stray away from it, and they'll like go down these like little bunny trails, and then they circle back, and then they come back and they come back, and they're like, man, lead gen is the way to go. It just seems like that's where it always ends up, right? So if you can not do those little bunny trails and just like stay on this main path and learn to say no, I think you're going to find better results. I think that it's hard when we need money. We think that getting this fast money is going to be good, but it never seems to work out this way. What happens is if we close a lead gen prior to having things in place, unless you're really good at this, it's going to be hard for you to maintain that client after 3 months. I would say like 3 months is going to be like, because you're probably not going to have the site ranking. And if you're running Google ads, what you're going to do is or Facebook ads, you're going to be putting a lot of that money that they're paying you back into the ads, which like, you're going to spend this time managing it, and you're not building this asset in the same way if you were spending that same time. So for that, like, that fast money isn't really fast money. It just feels like it's fast money. If you were to calculate, and I encourage you guys, calculate your hourly, track your hours that you're doing for this, and then look at it 3-6 months down the road.
No.
Yeah, like, so it seems like fast money, but you end up working for like $5 or $6 an hour. Versus like, so here's an example. My first site was a tow truck site. And, it's been 5 years, and this guy's paid me $1,000 a month. I think that I spent about 60 hours on it. So I've collected about $60,000 from that site over the last like 60 months, right? $1,000 a month. So my hourly rate is about $1,000 an hour, right? And next month it's going to go up, right? Because I'm not doing any more work on the site. I haven't worked on it in 5 years, really since the beginning. And just month in and month out, he pays me, right? So same amount of work hours, more money collected. So that's what I think is hard to grasp. And it goes back into this other concept of like the delayed gratification. If we can like understand that delayed gratification is going to that's going to be very important to us, right? And this like fast money is tempting, but it's like that story of those what are those like sirens, that those beautiful women that are out in the ocean and they like suck the pirates in there, right? Like we can realize that's what's going on. I'm not trying to teach you guys to turn down the fast money, but I just like understand what it is, right? Is it really fast money, right? If it's like a website build where you can have like VAs do it, then that could be like great fast money because it's like, hey, I can charge like $3,000 for this, and it's probably going to cost me $400 to get it built. That's great. That's fast money. But if it's like running ads for someone and where we're going to put all the money into it, and then like we're going to lose the client if we're not, like, that's just a waste of time, right?
I have
Unless
actually
long term
found,
you want to be a Google Ads person.
I have found even in the past couple weeks since I've gotten some of these clients that it is more finicky, and like they're calling and like asking stuff like even in a week and things, like being like, oh, I haven't seen any difference. And it's like the one dude gave me a couple $100 and he's calling in 5 days. And I was like, it's been like a few days, like almost, right? And I was like, even when I hung up, I was like, I don't know if I like that as much as picturing when I have a bunch of leads of mine and giving them to someone. Like that's a different like perspective to have altogether, right? Like this guy's calling me because he gave me a couple $100 and I like owe him, opposed to me being like, I have this shit stuff that you want, you know what I mean? Like,
this is
yeah. Well, no, and that's kind of like where I've already seen that, honestly. Like I was picturing like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to build this stuff, and imagine my marketing campaign worked and I got 29 people all calling me every week now for that. And I'd be like,
absolutely.
oh, man, that would actually kind of suck maybe, or like,
Right.
maybe not, but depending on the client, right? I kind of realized that, and I want to do lead gen. I've already thought that I should focus specifically on that, but I don't know how to divvy that time to scale without having to just like go back to work or whatever.
Well,
right? Because I'm like, I like, as it stands, like if I'm putting all like these hours in, I'm working, because I'm doing like 12 to 16 hours a day in this business between prospecting, learning new skills, actually doing that work, and the backlinking of those sites. It takes that much work per day for me. So like in between that, I have to have like some money coming. Like, do you think I should just be then running into the lead gens and like hoping that those leads are the thing? Or like, what would you suggest in that regard? Because that's kind of the brick wall I hit. Like, do I do an email marketing campaign? Do I like, how do I not go back to work in theory or whatever?
It doesn't sound to me like what you're doing now with this kind of like Ponzi scheme where you like collect money and use it to pay the people, and then you've got to like close another deal to like pay more people, and you're always got to be like collecting like money from here to pay here. That's not going into your pocket so much, right?
No, well, I don't really do that too much, and it's just I don't really have the skills to do the bigger things either, right? Like with that logo and brochure, like the one guy was like, this was a part of the web design. So I just outsourced that really quickly, was able to turn it around, and, and like, I'm able to do that kind of stuff and organize, but I'm not like, I've never had a job where I had to make files and be organized in that way. And so I don't know how to, like, I got notebooks with scribbles all in them and a couple files I've started, and like, I'm not like a professional or whatever. I hate to say that out loud, of course, but
here's my advice is I would be splitting your time between learning the skills that apply to lead gen. I would recommend Greg Bukovacs' course on backlinking. I think that's good.
I've taken it. I have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think other courses, like maybe, what other courses are you trying to take right now?
Well, I've already went through them already, but I did the Mike Marin email cold to sold or whatever, as well as the Greg, the backlinking course, sorry. And I also did the swag course because I'm a tradesman and I know a whole bunch of people who buy swag for their companies all the time. Like I already have a couple people who are interested in recurring like Christmas orders and stuff. But that's why I realized in that same breath, like if I were to focus on a site that was specific to promotional products and contact people with that in mind, that is a whole business and enterprise just in itself. And I could sell promo full time, and I very well could, or I could literally sell this. And like every one of those things, as I learn them, I'm like, oh, I could actually, that's a whole business. And I have people.
There's a ton of opportunities. If you want to have success, you're going to have to pick a lane. That's
a pick one. That's actually why I requested.
I personally believe the one that you started first was the best one, the lead gen, right? I know a lot of people who have done these. The cold prospecting is great for certain situations, like the cold email stuff, right? And Mike's a brilliant guy. But when you have leads coming in, like it's really easy to sell, right? Like that might be
I've
good.
done that before. I've done the email marketing side when we were selling leads in 2019, and it's not the same thing for lead gen. You know, it's just a different model when you have those leads coming in. It's just like you have solid gold in your hand to hand over. And just while you guys are talking, you know, the perspective that's coming to me is like what Patrick was saying out of that book, skill stacking. You know, if you break down lead gen, there's a lot of skills in there that you need. If you focus on stacking those skills, building great sites, ranking the sites, backlinking, get your GMBs together, like all of those things, instead of spreading yourself so broad with promo and Facebook ads and Google ads and all that other stuff. Those are all skills, but the more tighter skill set is around building lead gens that produce.
Yep,
you know,
absolutely.
That's going to get you to where you want to be. So yeah, if you need to dabble in some swag because you have the contacts and it's easy for you to pull in some money so that you can fund yourself up in those lead gens, great. But don't get so spun out on it like you're trying to build a 7-figure swag business. You know what I mean? You could do that. I mean, there's 7 figures in every one of those things that you mentioned for sure. But like Patrick was saying, pick a lane. I just think the perspective of tightening that skill stacking around lead gen, that's going to get you to where you really want to be, right?
Yeah, and in my mind, I focus a lot of hours on that, but then I was trying to just get these other bunched hours at the end of the day to be actually getting my income in.
Yeah.
Like
so
now.
The tighter skill set, like I think backlinking is going to be really important. I think the Google My Business optimization, these are going to be like the foundational pieces. You start expanding from there. There's a really good course on Udemy that's like $11 about conversions, like building your websites in a way that they convert, right? So I can post something in the group. I took that one. So like getting things like this, I think are important. Some of the fast money strategies that you can do that are still within this area. And I mentioned this on a previous call. I'm going to bring it up now. I'm going to share my screen real quick. We don't have a lot of time left on here because we are literally going to jump in our RV after this call and then be on the road. But I want to share this with you. I've shared this before. Okay, cool. You guys can see my screen? Anyone give me a thumbs up? Is my screen shared?
Okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so Envato. Okay, this is I think this is just like such a great strategy. Hold on one second. Let me go back here. Envato themes. Theme forest. That's what it is. Okay, here we go. So this is for WordPress, and I know that some of you guys aren't familiar with this, but this is a great 1-2 punch right here. So you go to onlinejobs.ph, right? Don't click on the ads and cost them a click. So we've got these 2 different things. There's 57,000 WordPress themes here. So basically what I would do if I was in a fast money situation is I would go here and let's just say I look for plumbing. I hate the plumbing niche, so I probably wouldn't pick this one, but just as an example, we'll go here and you can go down here and you can preview this item. Okay, so you can buy these plumbing sites and look at this site. So this site I could probably spend, I don't know what this costs. This costs $17. Oh, I'm sorry, $59. That's more like it. That's what I would expect, $60, okay? And if I have a WordPress professional, they can have this set up in about 15 minutes. Look at all these different pages that this thing comes with. It's ridiculous. And there are thousands to choose from on this site. All these different pages come with this. It looks super professional, okay? There's no monthly fee associated with WordPress sites, okay? So you put this on a host and like, I think I've got 400 sites hosted. I spend $130 a month, okay? So we buy these themes. We can reuse this theme. It looks super professional. Does this look better on average than what most plumbing sites look like? So the plumbers that you sell this to, they don't necessarily, you don't need to tell them that you paid $60 to have this thing set up. Okay. So then you combine that with online jobs. And, you know, if I search for WordPress, you can find a person who is a WordPress expert. You don't need to know how to do this for like $4 an hour or something. It's ridiculous. I don't know why, like I'm not signed into my account. This is not how I normally do it. But the point is it exists on here. People will have 5-7 years experience in WordPress, and you could literally, for probably less than $100, you could have this like site set up, right? You're going to pay them $4 an hour for a few hours, $60 here. Maybe you write the content, maybe you have someone else write the content, and you could even take it another step and put their logo up here. Or just like, maybe you combine that with the cold email where you're sending out a bunch of emails to plumbing companies all over the place. So that could be a fast money strategy, but I encourage you, Cody, stay in the lane. I wouldn't try it. Like personally, I think your hourly rate is going to go way down if you're trying to do like swag versus if you were taking that same time and putting it towards building your lead gen. So for you with your 20 sites, like you've got 5 more that are about to publish, my advice to you would be like, get those 5 published. So now you have your 25. The 5 that you have, are these rented out? You said they're ranking. You have 5 ranking. Are those rented out, Cody?
Not yet. I have just given the handful of leads I got so far to the same contractor. They're in the same niche sort of, and I've just been about to rent them now.
Okay.
2 of them would be to the same guy in a roundabout way. So.
Okay. So that seems like some fast money, because those are like, you have 5 that are like we talked about earlier with Garrett, like he's got $4,000 that he's losing a month on not having the sites that he has rented. Those 5 are costing you money every month if they're ranking and they're not rented, right? Or if they're producing leads, I guess is a better way to phrase it. They're producing leads, not just ranking, right?
That's right. Like even the ones that are just starting to, like I got one random call from one that's on the bottom of a page I didn't even think would come in yet. They're starting to, and I'm just going to be figuring all that out now. So I maybe should I kind of had a feeling I already knew this answer sort of. I just wanted to hear it from someone else. I guess I really appreciate it, but I need to focus on the lead gen. Yep.
100%, man.
I just didn't because it's now my full-time job, right? Like even if I did lead gen or my sites for 9 or 12 hours per day, I still have this whole full 8-hour shift to now learn another thing. Should I just be, I guess, like refocusing that back in? Because I was kind of picturing like that's the time now I can create some income and, you know, I have a full-time job or more building lead gens, then an 8-hour shift trying to get some money going, or like, you know,
well, these don't need to be separate. If you're working 12, 16 hours a day, like you mentioned, that time period should all be spent on things that are going to create revenue for you and in the right way, right? So in the highest dollar per hour that you can that you can create. So part of that should be learning, I think, if you're 3 months in, but it needs to be focused learning on things that, as Jeff described it, are like a tight skill set related to this area and working on this. You know, like Kobe Bryant, and you know, I know, like, I don't know if you follow, like, so these athletes, they don't get to be the best because they go and they like learn how to shoot behind the backboard shots or all this other stuff. They've like narrowed it, right? And they're focused and they become the best at like a smaller part of it. And that's what you need to do. You need to be like horse blinders, focused on, this is my lane. This is what I'm going to do. These other opportunities are going to come in. Like for me, like people, I've got a lot of people that play, a lot of friends, because I play poker for a living, a lot of friends that play poker, and they're all into crypto, and they're like, hey, crypto this, and I'm like, that's not my lane. This is my lane. I'm going to stay in this lane, right? And then they win money and they lose money, and like this has continued to go up because this is what I know. And after you get it automated, after you get it at a certain point, then you can start going into other areas. But you need to master the business model, And then you can start to manipulate the business model after that.
Sure.
You're still in this like mastery phase right now. So learn about this, learn about the core fundamentals of this business model, and then spend all your time that you have available for working on this business, not like swag and, email marketing.
Sure.
That's my opinion.
Can I just ask one thing? Jarrett posted before that he had some input, and I just kind of was curious what he had to say, if that was correct or not. It's like, was that me?
I'll be really quick. I did the same thing. Like, you kind of get so focused on information and all the different ways you can make money. And I still have to stay in my own lane, right? And so it seems like obviously like you're going down all these different, like the cold email marketing is great. All those things are great, but lead gen is going to get you the money, right? And so another quick way you can make wins, it says that you're in sales. They have a lot of people that's, in this group and the other group that aren't very good at sales and will split commissions with you. I've sold sites for people where you get 50% or 25% or 30% or, of the monthly commission. So, if you go sell another JKer's lead gen for them for, $1,200 a month at 50% commission, that's $600. And that's going to do what Jeff was talking about, which is going to add to the skills that's going to eventually make you money, right? It's going to let you know more about the business, let you know about the contractors or the service. So there's other ways that keep you kind of in that lane to make that quick money instead of going through the swag and going through this. And because lead gen's where it's at. I mean, it's money every single month.
That's a really good point, Jared. It's like, I know I suffered from that same thing when I got in and I finally found a business model that made sense to me. It's like all these ways to make money is overwhelming. It's like, whoa, I want to do all of it, So maybe I never thought about it in those terms, but it is pretty overwhelming when you see how much money is to be made in all of these different business models.
I found that really helpful, actually. I don't know if I could find that, or I'm not asking, obviously, but that does seem to be one of my strong suits. Like, I'm able to call and find and get people and talk to them and get them to do it. And that would be a pretty related skill. Like, I never even knew that was possible. That's
exactly what I'm talking about with the information stacking. That one is one that's related to this in a way that's going to positively influence your potential. So being able to build a website that ranks combined with sales, those things that's a power combination there, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just be able to still have some flow coming in, and that's a really cool idea. Am I allowed to ask in the group? What do I say? How do I propose that?
You could, people just go search for people looking for help, or even go and just search. Go through the stuff. People will say, "Hey, I'm having trouble selling this site. Hey, this is going on." You got to obviously be careful. But say that, "Hey, is anybody looking for help with sales? I'm a good salesman. I'm whatever," and see.
I'm really good with tradespeople.
Yeah,
right? Because it's easy money. Because there's that, literally, I'm almost to that point. I have a fence site that gets 80 calls a month. It's just and I'm good at sales,
mm-hmm.
But that's money that's sitting there, right?
No, it's cool. It's a really, really cool perspective, because I'm just trying to figure out how I can keep sitting here and grinding, right? That's my main problem is I don't mind sitting here and putting it into the lead gen at all. I just have to be able to keep sitting long enough, I guess.
Right. You should be spending a good amount of that time on those sites that are not ranking too.
I do. I every single day I got a big list. I go through them all methodically or whatever. Right.
Excellent. Yeah. I would be spending some time learning about some of the tools and how they work and really understanding those. So like Ahrefs, I think is excellent for analyzing backlinks, and the learning process. Part of the learning process should be how does this work and how can I use this to correctly analyze these links and look for these opportunities, because that time period that you're spending with your neighbor guy, where you guys are having these conversations about whether this is a good link, what he thinks, what you think, that is really, I think that's a really good use of your time to you need to come up with an opinion and defend your opinion. And this is how our opinions improve over time, is like this kind of analysis and this back and forth. So like that's a really good use of time for the learning portion of it. Make sure that you keep that in balance though. You should probably be, making time for both, but I think after 3 months and having these sites built, it may be worth your time to spend more time working than learning right now.
Okay, I can take that.
Right.
Um,
All right. So any other final questions, Cody?
Not really. I thank you for your time and everyone's opinion and for hearing me out and whatever.
Awesome. Yes. Congrats on the success so far, man. I think you're on a really good path, Cody. I appreciate you coming on here and being like open and honest. I think one of the skills you should try to work on is how to change your name on Zoom. So instead of, it says Cody instead of 16047. Let's
I'll take a Zoom course tonight. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Before we hop off here, is there anyone else that has any questions?
Somebody was asking Patrick if he can drop the link to that Udemy course.
Yeah. I will grab that. If you guys do not use Udemy, that is such a valuable, that site is awesome. It's $12 for so many different courses. Everything I said about like learning these other skills, they have a Google Ads course on there that is, I think it was $12, and it was 75 hours for one of the best people that I've ever seen with Google Ads. It really helped me. I'm not telling you guys stay in your lane. That is the overarching thing. But just as an example, like I think when if you guys went through JK, I think that the actual hours is about 15 hours or 20 hours, somewhere around there. So this one was 75, and it was only on Google Ads, and it's from a guy that was like absolutely brilliant. So I spent $12 on it, and my cost per lead with Google Ads went from about $120 per lead to about $18 after I went through that course. All that being said, like I'm glad that I learned it, but I don't think it, I would much rather not have to deal with Google Ads. So I'm like kind of like phasing out that skill set right now. I don't think it's worth the return. Any other questions, Jeff? Anything else I missed?
I don't see anything specific. People are just saying have a good time on the road.
Yes.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely. Gemma, how are you doing?
Hey, good, thanks. With reputation management, the emails that are sent out, if they do respond and reply with a review, does that invitation go away?
It doesn't go away. It pulls them out of the sequence.
It pulls them out of the queue that shows
right.
I didn't send them. Okay.
So the time that it pulls them out. So when we click on like 5 stars, then it will show them the review sites. And then if they click on that review site, then it like lets us know. And at that point it pulls them out, because there's no way for us to know that person actually left a review, right? Because
so if they click on it, they come out, but they may not have even left a review.
They may not have left a review, right? They could have gone to they're going to get redirected to the review site, but there's no way for us to know, like you could be, like we could send an email to you, right? So Gemma, and then your Gmail account could be Neil, right? And you leave a review as Neil. We have no way of like connecting that to that. Like Google doesn't allow that. And the same with all these other review sites. So that was the way that we've done it, which like, I've thought about it a lot, how we could get more accurate with it. I don't know a way right now to do it. So it seems like most people that go that far, so they've clicked on the funnel and then they've chosen the review and then they've gone to the actual site. Like, so it's not bulletproof, but
it's okay, because I'm tracking it in my CRM. When I send it to them, I'm tagging them as review sent.
okay.
And so I can cross-reference it. If they haven't, I can just send them another review or send them an email following up.
Yeah. I think once we get our campaign builder out, it's going to make this a lot easier for this type of thing. Because like we've been waiting, and it's just been one thing after another, trying to get this huge batch of updates pushed out into lead generated, which includes a lot of CRM functionality and this type of tracking. the campaign builder is not a part of this next batch of big updates that we have coming, but it is kind of the highest priority after those.
Is that through
And-
Infusionsoft?
I'm sorry?
Is that with Infusionsoft, or is it just in Lead Generator?
It's going to be built into Lead Generated. So
Okay.
I demoed it a few weeks ago or a month ago. The plans that we have a visual builder for campaign builder. So it's essentially going to be like, you can set a trigger and then you can have like a follow-up thing. So the trigger could be like a form submission or a phone call or like a review is left or any of these different things. And then you decide what the next path is. So you like click here and then it'll draw a line and say, okay, what do you want to do next? And that could be send an email, send a text, or like move them into this other pipeline, right? So we're trying to do things in the right order, while like I've mentioned this several times, is like the features always take a back seat towards tickets. So when we have a lot of tickets, like we're always going to fix the tickets first, just because we have existing users using that functionality. That's a priority to me. I don't want to have buggy software, right? So then we move towards the features, which has created, I guess, like inaccurate predictions for us on our end, where I'm like, okay, I think we're ready to go with this. And then it's like, now we have all these new bugs. So, but yeah, so coming very soon, big improvements to reputation management and, like a better follow-up, better like building and adding in. I know that a lot of you guys have requested this. So I actually have a developer working on this right now with the ability to, it's going to look very similar if you guys have created a ticket before, where you have the ability to make things bold and like put in like different fonts and stuff like this. So like putting that as part of the email, because I know there was a couple people asking for like disclaimers because they're trying to do reputation management in the financial sector, or, they want to format it and make it look pretty their own way. So we're working towards getting that out along with a bunch of other reputation management updates, and like having automated statuses is going to be a part of that moving forward, Gemma. So I think hopefully at some point you won't have the need for the CRM. I can't imagine you will once you see what we have in place.
Oh, cool. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions before we hop off here? No. All right. So this next week, you guys, we got 7 days. Whatever actions we do in the next 7 days are going to influence our wins for next week. I would love to hear about what you guys do over this next week to share some big wins with us. So I don't know. I think I will be in. I'll be in Ohio a week from now, hanging out with my buddies. But or maybe I'll be in Kentucky. We're going to be going out on our lake. We got a lake house in Kentucky with a boat, so we're going to be spending some time out there. I share some of this stuff with you because I want to encourage you guys to picture whatever lifestyle that you want. Like it's possible through this business model. And I know that people like Cody, where we're just getting started and we're trying to find a way to get fast money. Like I was there too. Right. And this is the result of sticking with it. And I don't rate myself like smarter or, any of this other stuff ahead of you guys. It's just been longer time with like very laser focused on where I'm taking this. Right. And I think every one of you guys can take it in that same direction if you apply that focus for a long enough time period and you stay, like the theme of this call, stay in your lane, right? If you stay in your lane. First 2 years for me, I couldn't stay in my lane and I was limited to $4,000. Once I stayed in my lane, 12 months later, maybe 14 months, we were at $40,000 a month, right? So now it's been 3 years through that and everything's just like grown so much since then. So excellent. I hope you guys have a great week. You guys stay safe and we'll see you in the group. And my apologies if the support has been a little bit slower. We've been moving. I'm hoping to get back on track over the next few days now that we're going to kind of be in our mobile office. So you guys have a great week. Let's create some wins and we'll talk next week. Goodbye, my friends. Adios, amigos.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.